my name is Roxanne, and I will be talking to you tonight about the 6 secrets of losing weight and keeping it off. This is a writing interactive program, so if you have a pen and piece of paper, go ahead and get that now. So we'll be talking about I'll be going through the 6 secrets, and I'll just go ahead and start with the first one. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Okay. The first secret to losing weight is setting goals. Now, there are better ways to set goals than how we know, and some of you may already have heard of this. They're called SMART goals. It's catching on. And I don't mean just the opposite of that, silly or dumb goals. I mean, SMART stands for something. It's an acronym. It is goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So if I say, I want to lose weight, great. But how are you going to know that you've lost the weight that you want to lose if you don't have a time or if you don't have a specific number to hit? Okay, fine. Then I say, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month. That's not really achievable for me. So it has to be something that you can achieve and be realistic. So if we set these little goals all the time, we can eventually influence this one big goal. So go ahead and take the time to write out your goals. Remember, think SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So go ahead and take a few minutes to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to secret 3, which is identifying obstacles. So remember in the SMART goal I gave you, it was, I want to lose 15 pounds in 3 months by resisting fast food restaurants, exercising, and resisting dessert. And the reason why, of course, we set goals is to identify obstacles. So I can clearly identify my obstacles with the latter 3 of resisting desserts. I know I'm a big sweets person, going to fast food restaurants, and exercising. There are obstacles getting in the way of us right now. I don't like to diet. I don't like to diet. I don't like to sweat. I don't like to work out. I don't have time to work out. That's why these goals really need to be about you. If they're about you, you will keep the motivation. It'll be stronger, and it'll be longer, and again, it'll help you stay motivated through those tough times. In the middle of a circle, I want you to write your name, and then you'll say, never need to lose the weight again. The circle between the 2. Go ahead and write 5 people that you are closest to. And in the circle outside of that, on the outside of both circles, go ahead and write acquaintances that you encounter every day. And I want to give you a story. I health coached this guy, and at first it was great seeing him to come in. He was coming in so excited. He was saying, Roxanne, I only had 2 slices of pizza instead of 4. I only had 1 cookie instead of 2. And it was great to see his energy, and he was working out and gaining muscle and showing off his biceps. He's coming in, 2-3 times a week, and then he just kind of phased out. And now I only see him 1 to 2 times a month, and he's gained weight back. I found out that his wife convinced him to sign up for weight loss. Clearly, he wasn't ready for that, and now he knows his wife's true feelings behind that. So imagine how he must feel. He has to feel like a double failure, and I mean that because not only has he failed his wife, but he's failed himself for failing his wife, is how it feels. So, in the end, it's who influences your life on a daily basis. Are they helping you reach your goals or not? The 5 people that you listed first in that smaller circle are the people who influence your life most. So we can say, are these people the type of people that will say, you know what, let's stay in and bake cookies and watch movies and we can bake brownies? Or are these the type of people that will say, you know what, let's go for a walk and then we can come in and have a fruit platter and dip it in chocolate? The people that you encounter on a daily basis and are closest to will influence your goals. And you say, Roxanne, my closest people, I have to say they're not getting me closer to my goals. Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying, dump the relationship. Get rid of your husband, get rid of your best friend. No, it's not what I'm saying. However, we can better identify the obstacles, right? So if your best friend loves to meet you at Starbucks, wants to get coffee, wants to get a pastry, you can better prepare for that. Now let's talk about this guy for a moment. He was eating pizza every day and having cookies every day for dinner. So his wife, I found out, was cooking for him. So it's really about who you hang around, who influences you, and he can better identify the goals and the obstacles that he needs to overcome. Secret 2 is the why. So we talked about goals to identify obstacles, and we also talked about how the goals need to be about you. But let's talk about why you want to reach these goals. With the goals that you have written down, you should have 1 to 2 concise reasons and sentences already in your head of why you want to reach those goals. If you don't, then you might need to change your goals, because this will help with the motivation when, again, times get rough. So go ahead and take a moment to write out your whys. These can be, let's call them powerful whys. These can be physical, these can be emotional, or they can be spiritual. They can be anything you want, as long as it's about you. All right, we're going to go on to secret 4, which is people's groups and organizations. What people's groups and organizations do you know that will help you lose weight and keep it off? These are people who have gone through weight loss before. Do you know anybody who has the same goals as you? Do you know anybody that wants to see you reach your goals? You might need to join these groups. Join a walking group. But you say, Roxanne, I don't have time. I literally do not have time to join another group. I don't have time to make a commitment to more relationships. That's fine. We understand that. Gather your family. Say, family, I want a better relationship with you. Monday nights are walking nights. 30 minutes before dinner, this is how it's going to be. You might have to be the one to create these organizations. The more active people that you put yourself around, the more active you become. And the more active people you see, and the more active you become. So go ahead and take the time to write out any people, groups, or organizations you may know that can help you. Again, these are people who have the same goals as you, have gone through weight loss, or wants to see you reach your goal. Okay, secret 5 is skills and knowledge. Who teaches us our skills and knowledge? Does someone else do it, or do we teach it to ourselves? And if we do teach it to ourselves, is it accurate? So let me give you guys an example. There's a big misconception out there, and it's about deprivation. It's about, if I don't eat, I will lose weight. And to an extreme, that's true. But we all know that that is an unhealthy measure. So what happens is we say, okay, I want to lose weight. So we pull our foods out. No more brownies, no more pizza, no more steaks. And we end up slowing our metabolism down because we end up going too far with it and saying, well, I won't have breakfast today because I don't have time to make a breakfast. I won't have dinner today because I just don't want the bread, I don't want the pasta, so I won't even tempt myself with it. Every time we deprive ourselves of food or a meal, we slow our metabolism down. Every single time we skip a meal or we take food out, this is what happens. And there's not a whole lot we can do to get our metabolism back up. So once we put that food back in, we gain weight because we've slowed our metabolism down from taking that stuff out. It's hard to ask ourselves to take our favorite foods away because we end up overeating them once we crave them, and that's a total natural thing to do. So if we stick to the food pyramid, which is, good portions and healthy natural food, we can stick to that for a lifestyle in a lifetime, and that becomes a healthy lifestyle. So I'll give you guys an example. I'm sure you guys have heard of the high protein diet, and having high protein in your food works for some time, but it only works for a short time. So you lose the weight for a short time, but you can't have rice again, you can't have cereal again, you can't have pasta again, and once you add that stuff back in, you're going to gain the weight. Just like liquid diets or prepackaged foods, if you're willing to be on a liquid diet your entire life, you probably won't get the weight put back on. If you are willing to have prepackaged foods for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you probably won't put the weight back on, but that teaches nothing about portion control, and that teaches us nothing about healthy foods education. Here's a few tips. Eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. We can also savor our food in the moment that we're eating it. It teaches us to enjoy our food, enjoy the meal, and it teaches us to enjoy life. This is a time to reinvent yourself. Okay, the secret 6 is learn to write a plan of action. Every goal has a starting point. It's today I will, tomorrow I can, or next week I will start. The reason why we have plans of action is because we are creatures of habit, and they're not always good habits, and that's perfectly acceptable. What happens is in order to be successful, we have to learn how to break habits. We have to be willing to break our bad habits. We have to recognize that they're bad habits. If we're doing 12 small bad habits all the time that lead to this end not so great result, how are we expected to fix this if we can't even break one habit? So that's why we set small goals, what we talked about in the beginning. It's because we want to start breaking these small habits one step at a time. So we can always play. There's an easy way to do this, and it takes a process, but it becomes easier. We can always play the just this once game. And I'll give you an example. Just this once, I'm going to choose the granola bar over the candy bar. Just this once. Just this once. Tomorrow, I can have a candy bar. It's not going to taste the same. The texture isn't going to be the same, but it's still going to be good in its own way. And it's just this once. Tomorrow, I can treat myself again. Or just this once, I'm going to go on a walk instead of watch TV, because just this once, I have the time today. And it's just this once. Tomorrow I can relax. The more we play the just this once game, the more we break the habit. The easier it becomes to break the habit again. And once we've broken the habit so many times, the habit is broken. And that makes us powerful over that habit and empowers us to break other habits. So we've gone through setting goals, talked about that swung into identifying obstacles and having goals about you to keep the motivation. Then we went back and talked about the powerful why of why you want to reach these goals. And then we went through people's groups and organizations to help you reach your goals. And then we moved on to skills and education. And then we went on to plan of action. And those are the 6 secrets to losing weight, but truly keeping it off.